Hi, Redheaded Riding Hood here. Red for short. It's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. I'll probably share a video about my dad. It's complicated, but I'll share that. Yeah, one of the things I was going to do and never did is do a video about my mom. So when I start, um, editing again, that's probably when I would do that. I don't know when, but I'm not. I'm really liking story chasing Amber Baldwin's content on Slow Living. I don't watch every single one of her videos, but um, I'm liking her new content. She was doing van life, so you know. And I saw this thing on Facebook recently, and it said accept, believe, trust, slow down. And I'm in my spot where I meditate, and there's a dove over there. Do you see it? And yeah, this is where I meditate. I love it out here. I'm really happy I chose to move here. And I feel like I'm going to stay in this spot for a while. Who knows? Maybe the rest of my life. I don't know. I don't know if I'll actually be in this house for the rest of my life, but probably in this area, I think, because it just feels like, because things just falling into place here, and I'm really happy here, and I've met friends, and I joined the individual group, and I go to the Poway Democrats meeting, but I live in Ramona, and I joined the Ramona Democrats. And yeah, and there's this group that sings that I might join, and I went to try to go. I found out from the lady I met protesting in Ramona. I found out I went to the meeting, but they're not meeting right now, and that's why they weren't there. I was like, I went and I looked for you guys, and she's like, oh, we don't practice right now. I'm like, okay, well, it's not going to take up too much of my time, so maybe I will do that, because I think they start up practicing maybe in the fall again. I'm not sure. Maybe it's August. I'm not sure. But anyways, and I heard about a book club I might join. I started to say I might drive for Lyft. There's so many beautiful doves in my yard. And I was going to tell you the story that happened on Friday. It was profound. Doves. I think it's mating season. They're chasing each other. You hear them? Oh, she's like, leave me alone. Friday morning, well, it was late morning. I came out here, and like I just about do every day, and there was a dead dove on the bank there. And And I was sad because the doves always make me think of my mom. And when I was living in Georgia when my mom passed in 2009, and I had seen a pair of doves like about every day when I would take my kids to school at the top of our property. And on the day she passed, there was only one dove there. And so I saw them as like my mom and dad, even though my mom and dad had lots of ups and downs, but they did stay together and had been married almost 60 years when she passed. And she was going to turn 80 that year, and they were going to have their 60th wedding anniversary too. So that was the thing with the doves. And I was waiting to go on a meeting with I'm in this group called Wilder, which is Martha Beck's community, online community, and Rowan Mangan. They have a podcast called Bewildered, and for those trying to figure it out. But anyways, it's very woo-woo. And so as I was sitting waiting to go on the Zoom call, a hawk came and picked the dead dove up and flew away. And I was just like, oh my God, what does that mean? And then when we have our meeting, it's called the Arty Friday Hanging. People make pictures and paint and do visual art things, crochet, or I think moderator in the group, she was making little candles. And so so many dogs. Look. So, and we share about, and we're talking about right now, the magical and the mundane. And how do you bring the magical into the mundane? Or I forget, they have usually a specific question that you talk about. And so I'm thinking about, well, should I share what I saw? And I didn't really know what it meant and at first. And I was thinking about it still. And I'm like, well, my mom has already passed, and I've had many incidents where I've felt her presence, especially recently, with the light going on in my front room in my house and stuff. And so I've very much been feeling her presence here and with these doves. And but I was like, what does that mean? Because the dove was dead and that hawk came and took it away. And as I'm in this Zoom conference call, everybody starts sharing their different stories about birds. I'm kidding you not. I kid you not. They were all talking about birds. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna raise my hand. And in the course of it too, Martha does a visualization, and in the visualization was a box, and there was supposed to be something inside your box. And I was just like, I don't know what's inside my box. And then somebody said the box was empty. I'm like, okay. And we talked about that, and it was just really interesting. And just look at I've been reading a lot of Martha Beck's books. I haven't read them all yet, but she, I think the favorite one, well, my two favorite ones that I've read so far are The Way of Integrity and Beyond Anxiety. And Beyond Anxiety helped me so much. I had so much anxiety. I was afraid to come here by myself. I moved to San Diego by myself, which I had to do, and leave Denver by myself. And because every place I went to, when I went to St. Louis, my friend Gladys was there. And I stayed with her. I rented a room from her, and she had rented a room for me previously in Georgia. And she was one of my Airbnb guests. And then she rented a room for me before she moved up there. And so I had gone there. And then I went to Denver, and Ian and his best friend from grammar school, Albert, were in Denver. And when I came to California the first time in my RV, I was staying on my brother's property, and I helped him care for his, my very good friend, his wife, Joyce, who was passing away from stage 4 breast cancer. And so I always was going, there was someone there, waiting for me. And I feel like, and I said to Martha now that I'm like, I don't think I would still be, in Denver, terrified of venturing out somewhere on my own. Because even though my son moved to Oregon, I still felt like I had, my son's friend Albert said, "You're like my Denver," because his mom's in Georgia. He's got a cool mom. But she's in Georgia, and he's like, "You're like my Denver mom." So because okay, when he goes somewhere like to Georgia, or he went to Japan, I'd pick him up at the airport. He'd take me to the airport when I went somewhere and pick me up and stuff like that. You kind of need like somebody. It's like, I don't want to go, I'm scared. But I was able to do it. I feel like that really helped me, that book, Beyond Anxiety by Martha Beck. But anyways, what I came to the conclusion about the dove being picked up by the hawk is, well, my mom's already passed, so that was not it. But my period of mothering is over. Because, my mom was, of course, not a perfect mom, but she was a good mom. And she cared for us, and I'm the youngest of 7. And but she was very codependent, so that was what was bad. And I've been very codependent. I've been enabling a lot of my children. I've been groveling. I've been chasing after them. And so what I feel like this situation, and it's like, if I hadn't been out here, I wouldn't have seen it. I wouldn't even have known there was a dead dove on the hill if I hadn't came out here. And then I ended up having to go in before I shared on the Zoom meeting. I went inside because I had my computer out here, and the glare from the sun was so much that I couldn't see anything on the computer anymore. As the sun rose, it was like noontime. And so I went inside and I shared that, and I said, yeah, I think my box was empty too, because so Martha just shares all this wisdom. She's just such a wise person. And she's only a little bit older than me. I think she's 60 something, and I'm going to be 60 this year. But she's just so wise, and like she really always talks about the Tao Te Ching, and it's like on the way to enlightenment, every day something's taken away. It's not about adding things, And that's why I'm really into this meditation, quietness, stillness, waiting, patience. Because before I was always like rush. And what can I do to get my kids to love me again? And it's just like, no. You're gone. They're grown. You're done mothering them, and the hawk is flown away. So, whatever. That's my story for today. This video is way too long. Oh no. But not editing right now, but I might get to that. But anyways, that's the story for today. Don't say that no one cares for you, because I do, and God does too. Don't forget to pray for Red, because Red is praying for you. Bye.